Alright, so take two on this. So, what's up everybody? Today, we're actually going to do another battle video, just like we did previously, but in today's hypothetical battle of monsters versus the reigning tyrant, we will be taking the Werecats from Scooby-Doo Zombie Island and having them go up against the most destructive and dangerous dinosaur in the land before time franchise. Let's begin with challengers to the king, and I'm calling Sharptooth the king because he won in the first round, so you know what, let's make him the king. Werecats were a group of settlers 200 years ago before Captain Moonscar and his band of pirates attacked. Now, right there, I'm just gonna say it's not a group of settlers, it was just Simone Lenoir and Lena Dupree. Sorry, I'm a little messing up on my words here. But the rest of the settlers were killed except for those two. Simone and Lena managed to make a ritual to their cat goddess and gain the power to sap the life force of the pirates, turning them into zombies. Later on, they convert a ferry driver named Jacques, we don't know his last name, to join them. Can I say Jacques Cousteau? Oh, that would be so perfect. I really wish I could make that into lore where it's now Jacques Cousteau as the ferry driver. It is unknown to us how Jacques was turned, but the lore does state he was fully willing to become a werecat with immortality. So yeah, like those are our challengers. Now for the champion, Sharptooth, the gnarliest T-Rex in the Land Before Time franchise. Sharptooth is estimated to be between 22 to 26 feet tall, or 7 to 8 meters, as well as being 21.5 meters long. Now that is a pretty big T-Rex, and the reason I say that is because seeing as most T-Rexes in our own real world are only 12 to 20 feet tall and being 40 feet long or 12 meters long. I think I just said long twice. In the last battle, we did pit Sharptooth versus a creature, which was the Snow Beast. I know, shameless plug, but if you have not seen that video, I will put up a link in the description, as well as its thumbnail and a little icon at the top of the screen if I remember to do that in editing. Now, let's get into the factors that will be determining who in this fight would survive, because this is not a typical battle of attrition or friendly joust. This is a battle of survival, because if the Werecats lose, they won't be able to perform their ritual. If Sharptooth loses, he can't get the delicacy that is Cajun food. And if you've never had Cajun food before, literally can never go wrong with it. Jambalaya is like my favorite food of all time. Maybe. I don't think you can make jambalaya pizza, but that would be kind of interesting as well. So for like number one, location. It's the biggest factor. That's why it's number one. Whose home turf are we gonna go with? I was initially thinking giving it to Sharptooth, and his home of a rocky, desolate terrain, that wouldn't be as exciting, so I decided to give it to the Werecats in their home of Moonscar Island. Moonscar Island is a swampy marsh, which it is difficult for larger animals to get around, and it slows their momentum. But for the mighty Sharptooth, with how big he is, I believe he will be fine. Swamp mangroves also gives protection and more maneuverability to the Werecat. With that in mind, it actually kind of comes into the factor reasoning. The second factor is durability and kill conditions. Can Sharptooth kill a Werecat? Simple answer, yes. Yes, he can. He could probably bite one in a single gulp since he is so huge. But can the Werecats kill Sharptooth? Now that is a question that is a lot more puzzling. They might be able to, but it would just take an immense amount of power. The easiest way I can think is that they take down Sharptooth is just like how the Raptors in Jurassic Park did with the cunningness and hit and run tactics at the final end of the movie, where you had 3 of them all attack from different sides. That might be the only way they can get Sharptooth down, and even then they have to do hit and run tactics, running back and forth, you know, clawing at his tendons and his ankles, maybe getting around the throat, the stomach, you know, hitting all his little weak points. But it runs the inconvenience of it just takes one bite for Sharptooth to take one of them out, and then it's just game over. They have to run, they have to leave, they're screwed. Now, the fourth factor is, third factor is intelligence and combat IQ. This kind of runs in part of what we just discussed. Now, this is a good one. For combat IQ, it is close to being a tie, but I'm gonna give it to Sharptooth. Now, hear me out. I understand Sharptooth is potentially younger than the Werecats because they are 200 years old, but the fact that Sharptooth, to survive since his infancy, would have to fight not only other Rexes, but herbivorous dinosaurs like a Ceratops or maybe a Stygimoloch. I forget exactly what age that is. But also raptors and other small creatures. Crap, I'm missing so many in my head. Like, I have them all listed out, but I wouldn't be able to say them all. That's how many I know. I will be giving basic intelligence, however, to the Werecats. So combat IQ, Sharptooth. Basic intelligence, the Werecats. Not because they are humans, but because they have mystical rituals and have been alive for 200 years, kidnapping tourists and soldiers. They have to be sneaky and intelligent enough not to be caught for that long, because that is a really good trick. Now, the fourth factor is stamina and agility. Now for this one, I'm giving it to the Werecats again, wholeheartedly, due to the stamina usage that Sharptooth would have. Think about it. The bigger you are, the more calories you would typically use, or stamina, just trying to escape from that swampy marsh. The Werecats, however, can jump and latch onto the mangrove trees, kind of like cat ninjas. So just in that aspect, you can already tell that I'm giving the agility to the Werecats. And as well as due to them being able to turn on a dime. For Sharptooth, he can't. It would be impossible. He's so large, he would have to take multiple steps to just do a U-turn. Now, the fifth factor is psychological warfare. Sharptooth would not feel fear if he plainly saw the Werecats, but in the whole running and being more agile and jumping through the trees, I do believe that his animal senses would be overwhelmed. However, the Werecats would also be scared if they went a one-on-one against Sharptooth. They would immediately run away. They're the smartest play. The last factor is the numbers and ritual timing. For this one, the numbers advantage would work more for the Werecats unless the zombies, quote-unquote, tried to help Sharptooth, which would most likely go against the side of Sharptooth and get in his way. More than likely, he would try to eat the zombies, thinking that they were more people, so it would kind of obscure him from the Werecats, the bigger threat. But instead, if they, quote-unquote, tried to help, they could possibly take down Jacques or one of the other two. Just have to get a big enough group. However, if the Werecats cannot take down Sharptooth by the dawn of the next day, they might instantly die. So it really matters that they win. Now, I want to ask this question to y'all. First off, if you enjoy these battle videos, comment down below your ideas for me to do. And also, if this was not a ritual harvest or any of the factors changed to another, who do you think would win? Now, for the crowning of this battle, I am saying it is a very, very close fight. And it comes to Sharptooth still. Now, my reasonings are these. One, he is tougher and more durable than the Werecats. Thick Tyrannosaur hide. It's a very thick. You have to have very sharp claws. I doubt they have sharp enough claws to get through that skin. Two, he has a higher combat IQ. He fights a lot of other dinosaurs. Three, psychologically, he is unmatched. It is a massive, even bigger than real life Tyrannosaurus. Four, he has a slight aid in the zombies and ritual timing in this instance, because they're on a deadlock. They're going to be making mistakes trying to get him down so they can do their ritual. Now, the Werecats only had the home location, intelligence, and stamina and agility compared to Sharptooth, giving Sharptooth a 4-3 win against the Werecats. I'm counting stamina and agility as one. I just wrote them as two. But if you guys like this video, let me know. Comment down below, if you have any ideas for any battles we could do, or maybe if any of the factors change, or what your opinions are on this. Then also subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to get the community a lot bigger, have a lot more fun, and eventually do YouTube a bit better, because I feel like I'm trying, but I'm still a little weary on it. So I'll catch you guys later, and peace out.